today I am back to bring you guys the part 2 guide to the Diamond Dynasty Legends. So we're going to go to the NL Central and we're going to start with the St. Louis Cardinals. This collection overall, the price is not too bad. You might be looking at 15 to 22k. Rosenthal can be 8 or 9 million on the market, and Hayward, Lynn, Holiday, Waka, they might all be 1 to 2k. So overall, it's not a bad bargain. It doesn't cost too much to complete this collection. As far as talking about the actual Legend Ozzie Smith, he's a 90 overall, and you guys probably know Ozzie for his glove. Well, same thing in this game, pretty much all defense. So it's gonna really depend on how you guys want to build your team. This is probably one of the more difficult legends for me to grade because Ozzie Smith was such a great player and he had such a great impact on the game defensively. He performs the same way in the game. He impacts your team's defense so much. He's going to be a vacuum over there, shortstop. But the 22k, is he worth that? I don't know. That's going to be up to you guys. There's a couple other shortstops you can get. They won't be as good defensively, but they're going to have a lot better hitting. So it's going to be really up to you guys. I would rate Ozzie Smith overall a C+. And again, this is a hard decision for me because he is a 90 overall. But it's just all defense, and it really depends how you value defense over at shortstop. If you double your money, you could probably go get Tulo, who's right up there defensively, not quite as good, but the hitting, it's not even comparable. So overall, I give Ozzie a C+. If you're a Cardinals fan, a big Ozzie fan, I'd highly recommend getting him. I mean, you're gonna get what you pay for. He's definitely worth it. If you guys want to get a bargain shortstop, or I should say a budget shortstop, go for Simmons. His defense is right up there as well. And also on the same team, Peralta. If you guys are looking for a really good budget shortstop, he's only a 76 overall, and he's going to cost you less than probably 100 subs. I know his attributes don't look all that great, but his hitting is above average for most shortstops. Another reason why I don't rate Ozzie Smith so high is because you're not really getting any players that will be able to play in your Diamond Dynasty team. Yeah, I mean, you can put Hayward, Holiday in the lineup. But again, Diamond Dynasty, once you get the players, you have them forever. So I really don't see these players being on anyone's lineup in the long run. Rosenthal, he's not bad for out of the bullpen. He's extremely wild though, and his best pitch, a changeup, is really not that bad to hit. So I personally don't think it's worth it. And that's why I rate him a C+. Moving on, we're gonna go to the Cubbies. If the game loads up. All right. Cubs collection. It's Ernie Banks, another shortstop, and this collection is gonna cost you a little bit. It's not gonna cost you as much probably as the Cardinals, but John Lester can go anywhere from 15 to 20k alone. So you're looking at 25 to 28k to complete this collection. Lester is definitely a guy you can use in your rotation as well. So the price isn't too bad considering you're getting John Lester. As far as Ernie Banks is by far the second best shortstop, and it's not even close. Tulo's the best. Ernie Banks is right behind him. I got him right away, and I've been using him ever since. And his power is amazing. His contact's above average. Fielding is really good. I mean, it's not as good as Ozzie's, but I mean, it's right there. I mean, overall, he's played fantastic for me on the field. His one downfall might be his contact, but it's still really not even that bad. As you can see, I'm hitting 300 with him. Got a 500 slugging, so I mean, overall, I'm hitting well with him. He's a good shortstop over there defensively. He's no slouch. I highly recommend this collection if you guys don't want to spend the money for Tulo. You can get Ernie Banks for about half the price. Overall, I rate this legend an A-. Definitely worth it, guys. Now we're going to go to the Reds, and their legend is Johnny Bench. This one's gonna cost you guys a little bit. I mean, it can go anywhere from 35 to 40K. Chapman usually goes for 10 to 14K alone. Most of these guys are gonna be around. Well, Cueto's gonna be 12 to 15. Votto might be 8 to 10. Bailey might be 6 to 8. But overall, it's gonna cost you guys a little bit. And there's not many legend catchers out there, so it might be something you guys want to consider if you're looking for a catcher. As far as his attributes and how he plays, he's a great catcher overall, no doubt about it. Defense is right up there with with the best catchers. Not quite as good as Molina's, but hey, 92 fielding. The blocking's amazing. Got a solid arm as well. It can also play first or third for you, but I wouldn't recommend putting it at first or third. The one downfall to Johnny Bench is he cannot hit righties all that well. Albeit it's not bad by any means, but if you want a starting catcher for you, I would probably go with another catcher for the price it costs to get Johnny Bench. I would go with, you could get Molina for 4 times the amount. You could get Lucroy, for 10K. I mean, you guys are going to be paying up to 40K to get this guy. If you have the money, yeah, go get him. If you're a big Reds fan, yeah, great player. The one downfall is hitting against right-handed pitching. Against lefties, he absolutely strokes. And the price that it costs to obtain him, and considering the fact he doesn't hit righties well, and you're going to be facing mainly right-handed pitchers in Diamond Dynasty, I give Johnny Bench an overall of a C. Don't get me wrong, great player, but as far as how much it costs to obtain him and what you're actually getting out of him on the field, I give him a C overall. We're gonna go to the Pirates next. All right, the Pirates are gonna cost you guys even more money. I mean, you might be looking up to 70, 75K. I mean, because McCutchen alone is going to cost you probably 50 plus K. And then you have Cole and Harrison. So, this is one of the more expensive collections. If you pulled McCutchen in a pack, yeah, you might want to go for him. Because, I mean, that's the hardest part about this collection is getting McCutchen. It costs a lot. And McCutchen's a good center fielder on the game. But again, I still think you have better options, considering the fact he's not the fastest center fielder. So no offense to McCutchen, he's definitely been, the most valuable player in the National League the past 3 years. But as far as Diamond Dynasty goes, and for how much it costs to complete this collection, it's not a great bargain by any means. Now we'll talk about Ralph Kiner. He's a corner outfielder, 98 overall. He's got that 99 power, 95 power. Great right fielder, or excuse me, left fielder. And you see his secondary, he doesn't even have right field. So you're just stuck with this guy at left field or center field, unless you want to put him in right field to take that 40% deduction. If you play a player out of position, it's going to be a 40% deduction. And his fielding is going to drop tremendous. So I've seen a few people use Kiner, and he does absolutely hit the ball very well. His defense is kind of lackluster, and the fact he doesn't have a secondary position at right field is kind of a letdown. And for what it costs to obtain him, I don't really recommend this collection, guys, unless you already have Andrew McCutchen. His performance amazing. If you guys can get Kiner for cheap, go for it. You might want to look on getting him through the market. It might be cheaper. Overall, I give it a C plus, because you're looking at least 70, 75K to obtain him, and you can get a player like Winfield, Cliff Floyd, Upton for much cheaper. Might not be as good, but you gotta consider how much subs it takes. You gotta consider the value of these players. So overall, I give Ralph Kiner a C plus. Again, guys, I'm not solely judging their performance. It's the economy plus their performance on the field. That's why some of these guys might be a little bit lower than you think. So let's move on to the last team in the Central. It's going to be the Brewers. Overall, this collection is going to cost you guys about 15 to 20K. Gomez isn't required. You do have to get Lucroy, Braun, and Ramirez. They're some of the cheaper golds out there. Braun can be, you know, 4 to 5K. Lucroy can be 8 to 10K. Ramirez, same thing, probably as Braun, 2 to 4K. So it's not a bad collection to go for as far as the price goes. And you could definitely use a player like Lucroy and Ramirez on your bench. Ramirez absolutely kills left-handed pitching, and he could be a good backup third baseman to have. Even starting him, he'd be good. As far as actually talking about Robin Yount here, his fielding, it's solid, but I mean, Ernie Banks has better fielding, and Ozzie Smith has way better fielding. His hitting, again, is not bad. 53 power. I mean, that's good for a shortstop, but for how much it costs to obtain him, I really don't recommend this collection unless you guys are a Brewers fan. You can't play him in center field, but you'll take that 20% deduction, so his fielding is going to drop to like the low 70s, high 60s. Don't really think it's worth it to put him in center. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to get a shortstop with these similar attributes, I mean, you could get Peralta for much cheaper. And if you want to get a shortstop for about the same price, go for Ernie Banks, guys. Much better shortstop. So I only recommend this collection if you really want to get him and you're a Brewers fan. Overall, I give him a B-, and I feel that's pretty generous. Because he's not too bad to acquire, and the only reason I probably give him a B- is because Lucroy and Ramirez will help your bench a lot. So that's something you guys might want to consider. If you guys want to go for him, I definitely recommend completing the collection. As far as pretty much all these, I recommend completing the collection except for Kiner. Kiner, you might be able to bid and get him a little cheaper than 70 to 75K that's projected. So, guys, that's going to be it for part 2 of this Diamond Dynasty Legend Guide. Make sure you guys check back because part 3 will be out shortly. Thanks a lot, guys.